On this episode of Punk's Talk Wrestling, we are discussing the results of NXT No Mercy and Fastlane, as well as the overall state of WWE as we head into the end of a monumental 2023. I am R.W. Hellborn, one half of your Punk's Talk Wrestling tag team hosts, hailing quote-unquote from Philly. And as always, by my side, 3,500 miles away in London, England, he is my tag team podcast partner, the proper prick, CJ Newman.
Cody Rhodes, wow, that was really loud. Cody Rhodes has been tag team champions with 5 different people.
No shit.
Name those 5 people. Go. You have 1
Oh,
minute.
fuck, not again. Well, one of them was Goldust.
Right?
One of them was Jey Uso now.
Yep. That's one of
Get the easiest ones out of the way.
Yep.
Oh, shit. Whoa. WWE Tag Team Champions?
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Be it World or WWE, it doesn't matter, you know.
I have drawn a complete blank on the other.
You got 30 seconds.
R-Truth?
Nope.
Big Show?
No.
Wait, who the hell did he team? I have no idea, man. I am completely...
20 seconds.
Give me a year.
I don't fucking
Give me
know.
1 year. Oh!
You got 10 seconds.
Shit, that's it. That's the end of the intro. Intro's over. I lost it.
Okay.
Time's up.
You were missing 3. The
Yeah.
first person was Hardcore Holly.
Wow, okay.
That was his debut. He teamed with Hardcore Holly and won the tag titles. Ted DiBiase when he was in Legacy with Randy Orton.
Oh, shit.
And the other one was Drew McIntyre, which could be a really good storyline to tell there at some point.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Back when Drew McIntyre was the chosen one.
Yeah. Well, these were obviously, these were all pre, because his run with Goldust was towards the end before he left.
Yeah.
Man, and I've known, and he spent a lot of time as a single wrestler in the IC division when he was, dashing Cody Rhodes.
Exactly. Yeah.
Man, that was good. That one was a hard one. I had not even thought about Cody Rhodes as a tag team champion other than with Goldust.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that's just been tag champs with a shitload of times with so many people.
but that also shows that they've had that, but people criticize, the 2 guys together who aren't a real tag team then getting the tag team champions. They've been doing that forever. It's part of the cycle of the tag division.
Yeah.
And we talk about that from time. Whoa. Oh, sorry, something just went by the window. Yeah.
What the fuck?
So if,
like really near to the window or like far away?
No, it wasn't. It was just one of those reflections that you get from time to time. It was a reflection from some vehicle that just hit at the right time.
Okay.
Because the sun's going down, and I got this weird reflection now that I wasn't prepared for because of the time it is of day.
It's a really in-depth.
Fucking squirrel brain, just shiny thing.
I don't know.
Some
Guy just ran past your window.
No. It was just. I just got distracted by a light. Really. It was just.
That's really it.
That.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well done.
Well done. Just. I wanted to abruptly switch from that topic. No, that was tough. That definitely was.
Well, you're welcome. You're welcome.
It was a difficult one.
I actually come up with that one while I was watching the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
So I had that
nice.
one. I had that one in the book, like just waiting there, ready to go.
I hope you didn't forget one that an anonymous podcast critic might come back at you.
You probably did, right?
But yeah, of course.
Although maybe he won't hear the question properly again.
There's going to be one that's like, well, you know what? You forgot there was a house show in Des Moines where there was a title change and it wasn't televised. Maybe. And Ric Flair is actually the 26-time champion. It's by the rules, and WWE, it's stuff like that only counts if they say it counts.
Exactly.
And if they don't say it counts, then it didn't count.
In the famous words of Riverside Odds, let's get into it.
Yeah, we'll just get into it like we always do.
All right. Well, NXT No Mercy.
The first NXT No Mercy.
The first NXT No Mercy. I kind of do you miss the takeovers, like it being called Takeover?
No, I don't. I'm kind of glad they got away from that. It was nice that it had like a solidarity theme early on, which is something we still have to get back to. We haven't we stopped like mid-pandemic at our rewatch. Oh, because fuck Peacock. That's why. Because fuck Peacock.
Yeah, that was the issue we're having. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I have so many fuck Peacock things because since we're going through multiple things now, multiple events. But yeah, no, I like the takeovers originally. I'm kind of glad they didn't. That was a black and gold era thing.
Yeah, black and gold. It was kind of like a in your house era of WWE of NXT pay-per-views.
Yeah, that's true. And in your house was good for what it was as well.
Yeah, until it served its purpose for a while, and then that was it, kind of thing.
Yeah, and I think we're seeing the same thing with both No Mercy being an NXT branded event now, and just Fastlane that we'll get to later too.
Yeah.
There's, I made the mistake of reading any amount of criticism, and there is some criticism about these events that are obviously not the big deal events, and I'm like, yeah, of course they're not. These are mid-year.
Yeah, I mean, at one point NXT like Takeover was, some weekends like WrestleMania weekend, it was seen as one of the bigger events of the weekend because people were looking forward to it so much in the roster.
Yeah,
I mean, it's now seen as more of. I think NXT now serves the purpose as what it was always meant to, and that is not a competition to Raw and SmackDown, but the developmental for Raw and SmackDown, and that's kind of where we're at with it now.
Yeah, and I'm glad. Yeah, getting into just the state of NXT right now. I was a big fan of the switch over. You can check my records in the old podcast we used to listen to, Comedians of Wrestling.
Yeah.
Shout out to Comedians of Wrestling. I was a big fan of the switch.
Yeah.
To see what they were going to do, and to just make it its own era.
Yeah, exactly.
Visibly setting the line.
Yeah, because I think what they've gone with now is like they went for the new colorful kind of era, but what they've got now is a good mix of black and gold and that new era. It's kind of a mix of the two.
Yeah, I think so. Especially with the return of some of the main roster, the Raw and SmackDown roster talent showing up, which we were just right before we started recording, we were just getting into the discussion of this week's NXT that's gonna air tonight.
Yeah.
At the recording of this, we have not watched Raw or NXT this week after Fastlane, but yeah, we kind of got off a tangent real quick there. I like the change. I like the balance that they've got between the newer talent that is still developing.
Yeah, and I like that as well.
It's not a negative. It's not a negative. It's not a
NXT
development.
Has been around for such a long time now, already, like 10 years or so, in fact. And
yeah,
it's really good that we've got to state now with NXT where before it was like for developmental and people used to kind of essentially graduate and come to the Raw or SmackDown. We've gotten to a point with NXT now where it's seen as like it's seen as developmental, not just for newcomers, but for people who are on the main roster and need to go back to developmental. We've seen it with Baron Corbin. We've seen it with Apollo Crews. We've seen it with a lot of other people. And I quite like that because it gives the people abilities to reinvent themselves a little bit. And Finn Balor did it, in fact.
Absolutely. It allows everyone to learn more. It gives these superstars that are on Raw and SmackDown the ability to work with some younger talent to see who's on, to really test them.
Yeah.
You know, it's only great for the actual NXT, the people in NXT when these superstars come down.
Yeah.
I've always been a fan of that. I've never looked at it in that negative way of like the people that think Becky Lynch is burying women in NXT. I'm like, like that's just not the reality of it. It is everybody bringing everybody up.
The reality of it is the fact that it's Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch is probably she's the biggest female star that the company has, I would say.
Yeah,
arguably a guess,
still
but
at this point.
Yeah,
no, still at this point.
She has to be, right? Yeah,
yeah,
and
absolutely.
If you're working with her, it doesn't matter if you're losing the match. It doesn't matter if anything. If you're working with her in any capacity,
you're getting over.
You're getting over, yeah.
Yeah, because well, and there has been also a shift. We'll talk about the state of the things, and this came up. Triple H mentions it in the press conference after Fastlane. The state it shows with the way that the way that they're giving everybody time.
Yeah.
The No Mercy and Fastlane both were the same in that they had, Fastlane actually had less matches than No Mercy, but they all had long matches. They gave everybody a lot of time.
Gave people time, you're right. It is so nice that, in fact, if you go back to you're talking about In Your House, if you go back and watch a lot of the In Your House pay-per-views, a lot of them had 4 to 5 matches on them. They were genuinely the pay-per-views were shorter. I think they were more so 2 hours back then. But still, it was like it's definitely it's a new thing for like a Triple H era type thing, because back when Vince was running things, it was most pay-per-views had 8 matches, and some of those matches would last 5 minutes, and it's almost like, well, you may as well put that on Raw then.
You may, right, and I am so happy that they're getting away from that for the most part.
Yeah.
There's no room for a squash match on
a pay-per-view,
in this time period,
yeah.
unless it's very, very specific to a storyline angle.
That's right.
And you know that it's going to get the right pop. Which and they're doing that. They do it very sparingly now.
Yeah.
Which
I'm
happy with.
Yeah.
I mean, a quick rundown of the matches. Yeah. As we're going through NXT and everything. Baron like we said. Baron Corbin and versus Braun Breaker. The revitalization of Baron Corbin, a new going back to the old.
I love his entrance, by the way.
Wolf. Yeah, the entrance was badass.
Yeah.
And the match was just two dudes barreling away on each other.
That's right. Yeah.
It was two powerhouse guys and having a powerhouse match. It was great.
Yeah.
9.5 minutes of awesome. Tough guy match stuff.
Yeah. I've got a couple of facts for you for Baron Corbin, actually.
Oh yeah, give me the facts for Baron Corbin.
This was his first premium live event in 4 years. He has not been on one in 4 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
And the last time he won at a premium live event was on December 15th, 2019.
Was that when he pinned?
When he beat Roman Reigns at TLC?
When he beat Roman Reigns, yeah.
That was the last time he won a PLE, and he hasn't been on one in 4 years.
He's still, holy shit, and he's still the last person to have pinned Roman Reigns.
He's still the last person to have pinned Roman Reigns. Yeah.
That's still a thing. That's still a thing that's hanging around. So this gives me a lot of hope. Because this gives Baron there's going to be, after whatever this Baron Corbin run in NXT, which is probably only going to last a short time.
Yeah.
Before the end of the year, I bet we're going to see a Baron Corbin run back on SmackDown. They'll give Baron Corbin a match. Talk about a squash match, but put Baron Corbin in a match against Roman Reigns again.
Yeah.
Just let him run with the fact that he's still the last person to have pinned him. He can keep that for until someone else pins him.
Yeah.
And we know that's not going to be until at least after WrestleMania.
For sure.
Yeah, give me Give me Roman Reigns versus Baron Corbin at WrestleMania. No, yeah, that unfortunately that will never happen.
That will never happen.
We know that.
You all know that.
No, the next match, Trick Williams pulling one over on all of us.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, we did not find. I don't know about you. I don't know about anybody else. But I was expecting a fun match. I was expecting normal Judgment Day shenanigans.
Yeah.
But I love that they're in this fracture state right now, and we'll definitely see. We'll definitely talk more about this.
Yeah, there's a lot going on with the Judgment Day right now.
Yeah, the Dom losing the title, and then it's great for the story, of course. Winning it back again, needing Rhea Ripley's help, and the rest of Judgment Day showing back up on NXT.
Yeah. Basically, Rhea Ripley threatening him to win the title back.
Oh yeah,
as well.
it's there's a power shift, the power dynamic shift.
Yeah, for sure.
That's going on is very, very.
There was
intriguing.
a period of time for the Judgment Day where there was no clear leader.
Yeah.
Where now
they were just running. Now it's very clear.
Yeah, it's very clear.
Well, there wasn't really a leader except for when Edge was the leader.
Well, yeah, obviously when Edge was the leader. After Edge was outed, everyone was kind of like an equal.
They just were a gang. They were just a gang.
A gang. Yeah.
They were the epitome of a gang. They just ran together and kind of beat down everybody. But now that there are things at stake.
Yeah.
Someone has to keep the responsibility of keeping all this shit together.
Yeah.
I love the fact that the briefcase itself has become this big elephant in the room with all this stuff too. I will get ahead. I don't want to get ahead of myself, so I'll save it for when we talk about when we actually talk about Fastlane.
Yeah, we'll get to that. I know exactly.
We'll get to that.
Talk about
but the Judgment Day being the leading faction that's just everywhere.
Yeah,
it's still chaos. It's
great, and I love to see it for all of them. They all deserve it.
It was and it's exactly what we needed to keep things fresh.
Yeah,
was you needed him to lose. You needed everybody to show fallibility.
Yep. Yeah.
And then winning it back again at NXT, the next NXT was of course. No, you can't be mad about that. It's smart.
Yeah.
It was great. It was an insanely great match.
Yeah, just massive props to Dominic, man. I still can't get over, if we look back at Dominic and the start of his career when he was with his dad. It's just it's just insane. If you want to talk about someone who's probably the most, if you want to get the reward for the most improved, it's going to be him.
Yeah, but of course, and he should, and he should, and he did, and good for him.
It was
see how
at the
good
start
he
of
is
the
at
match
being so bad.
Because Dragon Lee was the special guest referee.
Yes.
When
the future of Lucha Libre.
Yeah, for sure. He was
according to Dominic's deadbeat dad, Rey Mysterio.
But
which makes me hate him so much more because I love Rey Mysterio. You know.
But when obviously he was a referee to hold up the championship. Dominic went up to him to give him the title, and he laid it on the floor in front of him instead of giving it to him in his hand, which I thought was such a subtle little thing. But
the little jabs at him, those types of nice bits of work.
Yeah, he's really coming into his own with it. It's so
he's
good.
just so insulting to everyone else.
Yeah.
Everyone every face.
Yeah,
he's so good at it. He's so good. I mean, even the fact that he grew in a mullet to look more like Eddie Guerrero.
Exactly, man. It's just great. It's just perfect.
To piss off his dad more. It's every bit of it is so good.
It's good stuff.
Excellent match.
Yeah.
Once again, the Fatal 4-Way tag match.
Goddamn.
It was, goddamn. This goes into my discussion of where we are in general with everything too, not just the status of NXT, but as Fastlane will show, this is definitely the cruising period
Yeah.
And not in a negative way, but it's the transition period between a lot of shit happened. We're building up to a lot of other stuff. So there is this sort of lull where some of these things, like with No Mercy, I think even had a more cohesive storyline. When we get to Fastlane, I'll comment on that. But this was a match just to showcase everybody.
Yeah.
Showcase the entire tag division as it stands right now.
Yeah, for sure.
In NXT, the family are killing it as tag team champions. They're doing everything right, from the promos, from just being around in other matches.
All the teams in here impressed. Like the family, as you say, like it's good to see Los Lotharios still around doing stuff, and also being
the new Garza and Carrillo,
kind of more serious than they're not the Los Lotharios anymore. Actually.
No. Yeah, I don't know. I don't.
They didn't give them a name. They just said Angel Garza and Carrillo, I love to see that they're down there. I mean, you don't even think of those guys as we haven't seen them much on the main roster. They were doing stuff probably on Velocity or whatever. Main event. Speaking of which, though, this whole side thing. There's also there's a dark match version for NXT now that I did you not know about that?
I did know about it, and I knew about it, and then it just kind of
it's
I never actually watched it.
I can't remember
Level Up,
the damn name, but Level Up.
Level Up. I think I watched it maybe once or twice when I first saw it, and then completely forgot about it.
Yeah, it's a good place to see like people before they even come to NXT, essentially.
Yeah. So it's nice to see that. Just going back to the state of NXT. The fact that they have their own
main event
filmed additional this is the dark matches of NXT still get their own filmed version, so they can rewatch their matches from the camera angles to see what
it's a good chance to be, because I think it's a network or Peacock exclusive. So it's a good it's a good time to be able to just work a TV event, but not have it mean too much.
Yeah. They're just matches for the matches' sake. Exactly to see what works.
Back to the tag match.
Just like me.
Fucking
back to the tag match. Yeah, Creed brothers are amazing.
Julius Creed is something else, man. That guy, if he just gets a little bit better on the microphone, he is a bona fide star, 100%.
I would be interested to see if with Paul Heyman at NXT tonight, if he runs into the Creed brothers.
Yeah.
They're no longer, obviously they've just shed the Diamond Mine gimmick.
Yeah, completely. But having their
which I'm fine.
Clear relation
totally
to that kind of early Brock Lesnar kind of deal, explosive amateur wrestler.
I have a feeling he's going to take notice of that.
That would be really cool, actually.
Those guys are going to come up because as we'll see, as we'll talk about later, the main roster tag division, I think, is going to get some new blood.
Yeah.
they're talking more, it's coming back. So the NXT Heritage Cup match.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I've been a fan of these. I love that NXT.
They're such a. They give pro wrestling a very sport feel. I really like that, And
I'm glad they retained this from NXT UK.
Yeah.
As something.
Yeah, me too.
It's a thing that NXT has. It's their own thing. It's their own, essentially, it's their own U.S. title.
Yeah.
It's another title, yes, but it's more like a very serious 24/7.
Well, it's a championship that has this very specific stipulation to it.
Yes,
but it's more of a serious stipulation than it is like a funny stipulation. If that makes
right,
sense.
Exactly. But it's just it's a stipulation that has history.
Yeah.
In British wrestling, and I'm glad that they've retained that, and they didn't it didn't just kind of like get brushed under the carpet when NXT UK was disbanded.
Yeah.
And again, excellent matches. The matches that you have in Heritage Cup matches are completely different styles of matches too.
They're great.
That you get that fast paced, quick, but you get all that fast paced stuff, and then you get that break.
Yeah. It's like a boxing version of wrestling in a way.
Yeah.
It's got rounds. It's like, I love it, when you get to the end of a round and like someone, like the bell will go and someone will like jab the other guy really quickly.
Yeah, at the end of right at the end of it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm pretty sure Dar did that right at the end of
that, but then a little later I think Pete Dunne.
Yeah, Butch
Butch did it right back to him kind of thing. Yeah, get the branding right.
Yeah. It was, and Butch. They didn't bring him back as his previous name. They kept it with Butch.
Yeah, kept it with Butch, and it's funny really because no one gives a shit.
No one gives a shit. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It really didn't matter, did it?
Yeah. What does matter to the future of the NXT universe is that we have a new NXT heavyweight champion in Ilya Dragunov.
Yes, we do.
Once again, it's an Ilya Dragunov match is a match where Ilya Dragunov gets injured and injures his opponent.
Yeah.
But just fight. It's just painful. It's painful.
He is something else, man. He is so intense. I've never seen anything like it. Anyone like it. It's.
I would equate it to if I had to equate it to a D&D level enemy, it would be basically the equivalent of like a fire elemental, just unrelenting rage.
Yeah.
And ferocity.
Yeah. It's why he's wild, man. He's wild.
Yeah. I love when they brought him over and they started giving him the red contacts. That was just those little things.
Just a little great touch, every single match he has is so exciting to watch, man. He's just
they talk about just explosive.
Yeah,
all
just
the time.
Explosive, and just like his facial expressions are so visceral, and
his ability to withstand punishment.
Yeah.
Because he's the one that dethroned Gunther.
That's
the
right.
The UK title.
Yeah, that's right. So this is my prediction that eventually, when he does get called up to the main roster, he should be the guy that takes the Intercontinental title off of Gunther.
Oh, that would be impressive.
Basically, he'd be Gunther's only foil. He'd be the guy that Gunther can't beat. Basically.
Yeah, and I believe that would also make him the first Russian Intercontinental Champion.
I think anytime he wins a championship, he's the first Russian anything.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, because he's certainly the first Russian NXT champion.
Yeah, excellent. Once again, just insane match. I did not believe, it was an unexpected outcome for me. I did not think they were going to put the title on him.
Didn't expect it. Didn't expect it. I certainly thought after Trick Williams won the title, I thought, okay, this match will end with those two coming together with titles, and it totally didn't go that way.
Yeah, but now there's going to be, there's already some cracks in it feels like there's just like with real life, because we've talked about how professional wrestling is just a mirror of real life. There's lots of cracks in everybody's things right now. Like people's shit is falling apart. The Judgment Day is falling apart. The bloodline is essentially non-exist. The bloodline exists in Jimmy Uso's mind right now.
Well, I'm very much looking for. I mean, Roman Reigns is back this Friday, so I'm very
this
much
is going to be
looking forward
interesting
to
to
what
hear
the fuck is. It was so good on SmackDown the other week when Paul Heyman was talking and Jimmy held out his hand for the microphone like Roman Reigns would.
Oh yeah,
and Paul Heyman just looked at his hand like, "What the fuck?"
The notes, I made notes of it from Fastlane 2. The Paul Heyman calling on speakerphone with Roman Reigns
during the match
during the matches has been one of my favorite bits of work by them.
Yeah, that's good. It's good
because he just gets to make reactions and make shit up on the fly.
Yeah.
And then it's just adding this level of, anyway, we'll get back. We'll talk more about that
back to
time.
that. Yeah.
Because we're still in NXT.
Yeah.
Becky Lynch versus Trish Stratus. Sorry, Tiffany Stratton. Wrong. That was the last. That was the last. That was the last TS match.
Yeah.
Becky Lynch versus Tiffany Stratton.
Yeah, that's right.
Extreme Rules match. That was brilliant. I mean, just chef's kiss.
Tiffany Stratton has the best moonsault in the business right now.
Yeah.
No doubt. It is just something of beauty, man. Oh my god. And it's crazy because
to be transparent here, I started like slipping, but I started not paying attention to NXT for a little while.
Yeah,
the
same.
last couple
Honestly,
months.
Same. And to be honest with you, this is the first NXT event where like like PLE that I have watched in a while, because I started just perusing when I've been on the Instagram account for Punk's Talk Wrestling at Punk's Talk Wrestling, but when I've been perusing on there, I've been seeing clips from NXT, and I've been like, I keep seeing things over the last few months. I was like, oh man, this is looking interesting, and I've started to tune in a bit more,
And it really was until they put Tiffany Stratton on Raw and SmackDown and on the other pay-per-view, but I mean PLE, that I was like, oh shit, they're pushing something here right away, like right before she even went into her whole spiel, the whole gimmick of she's going to be a better NXT champion than Becky Lynch, and oh, you've never been champion.
Right, yeah.
We called it, we both called that immediately.
Yeah.
Because it made the most sense.
Yeah.
Because we knew Becky Lynch wasn't really in. She had just finished up her, the storyline with Trish Stratus. She wasn't really in the other title pictures, and this was a title that she hadn't had. And star powered to NXT.
It completes it all for her as well. She's won every title there is to win now, which is great. I don't know if they're going up against AEW again on Tuesday. They are,
the thing. They are. See, I'm not even paying attention to that. It doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
So they moved. So AEW moved their show.
I don't know if it's permanent,
right?
but I know for a fact that tonight, the Tuesday that we're recording this.
This is for sure. That's why they've got it stacked with everybody.
Yeah, well, tonight is Edge's debut on NXT.
That's right.
In AW, he's having his debut match.
That's his debut match.
Or Adam Copeland, as he's known.
Adam Copeland, yes. I do find it funny. Just the little bit of info that I found out. I did find it funny that they let his that the Rated R Superstar trademark lapse. As someone who's had to deal with trademark stuff before, it is kind of funny. That they would let that go.
It's funny that they let that go, but I find it also funny that it's a company that they like to call their wrestlers, yet they're using the word superstar.
Right. Well, that's the other. Yeah. But this will be interesting. I'm sure a lot of people will have a lot of things to say about the outcome of ratings and whatever happens tonight.
I think my only just to touch on that subject so briefly, the only fear I have for Edge or Adam Copeland in that company is that they're not. How do I put this without sounding like a dickhead?
There's no way to say you're the proper prick.
Basically, I don't think their matches are safe. I think they're allowed to do too much, and you may think, oh, WWE are too restrictive. It's like, yeah, but they don't allow people being dropped on their head very often. And I fear for someone like Edge, who's had obviously triple fusion neck surgery and 9 years out because he broke his neck. I don't want to see anything bad happen to him.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that I have to assume that they all have the right to refuse certain moves.
You'd think so, but I just hope someone like Edge might not maybe you get carried away a little bit, and I don't know.
It's also very hard for me. It's very hard for me to be critical about it because people have their personal reasons. But the bottom line is, just like before, I've come to just admit it and embrace it. The AEW product doesn't interest me.
Yeah.
The product as a whole just never. I've tried as many times as I can, and Edge being over there doesn't make me want to watch it. Like,
it's going to take more than one person on the roster to make me watch a television show.
It doesn't. Right. It doesn't mean anything to me. Like and it's okay that it means things to other people, and good for him, and good for everybody.
Because the thing is, the only thing I see with AEW, and like say, don't get me wrong, there's plenty of people on their roster I think are incredible talent, right? But the thing that excites me the most is I want to see those individuals within the WWE universe, because I like to think of the matchups that you could see. I want to see a lot of people on their roster with the money that WWE can put behind them to give in these grand entrances and these grand
because it's not just this wrestler versus this wrestler.
Yeah.
It is these two wrestlers wrestling at WrestleMania,
exactly,
or at SummerSlam in the WWE.
Yeah.
It's the presentation. It's the bubble that you're. It's the bubble that you're in. It's the world the universe, literally the universe that you're in.
Yeah.
That makes that important to me. It's just the way it is. I've come to realize that. I'm more of a fan of WWE than I am of any individual person, any individual performer or wrestler.
So I guess we've come to the end of the NXT talking, but there's there's three things I want to talk about real quick. Yeah. One is, I don't know if you saw the vignette, but Brian Pillman, we're talking about people coming from AEW. Brian Pillman Jr. is coming from AEW to NXT.
Oh, I didn't even.
Did you see the little?
I didn't even know there was a Brian Pillman Jr.
Yeah, so Brian Pillman's son is coming from AEW to NXT. If you saw the little vignette on NXT, it's someone watching a television. Flicking through the channels, and he's watching old school like 80s WCW and flicking through stuff like that.
I did not get that vignette.
So it's not been revealed yet who it is, but it is him. So because you can see his reflection in the TV. Second of all, we'll get to the Payback in a second. That's my other point. But third of all, I think there was a return.
Wait,
NXT.
that was only one.
Yeah, there's three, but the other one can be spoken about later. But the third
one. You're gonna do the third one. You're gonna do 1, 3, and then 2.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
There was a huge return at NXT, which I'm pretty sure no one was even aware of, and I haven't seen anyone talk about it, and it really upsets me. At No Mercy.
There was a huge return
huge. Or to quote one of your former presidents, huge.
Don't ever do that. Please don't ever do that.
Long-haired guy and his mum was in the front fucking row.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
No shit. Awesome.
I popped so hard. I spotted them like immediately, and I was just like, where the fuck have you been for 4 years?
Man, well, welcome back, long-haired guy.
Yeah, they weren't there for Fastlane or anything since, but they were there.
Nice.
Yeah,
that is great. I have to go, but I didn't catch it either, and I haven't been around anyone to talk about it.
Double, triple, quadruple check to see if it was them. It was them. It was. You got confirmation just like that? Yeah, it was them.
You just looked it up. Well, there it is, confirmation.
From
Bakersfield. Well, so maybe it's because they're from California and they can't travel as much.
Yeah, maybe.
Because this was from Bakersfield, California, in the Mechanics Bank Arena. We didn't mention that.
With an attendance of 4,000. I've lost
4,954.
That's right.
That's a small arena.
It is. Well, I think it's actually bigger than that, but they hold 8,000, but it's NXT, so it's fine.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but that's probably a really good number for them.
speaking of sellouts, we got the Gainbridge Fieldhouse, which is in Indianapolis, Indiana.
Oh yeah, holy shit! We're gonna go. We're gonna go right into it. We're going right in.
That's what you call a segue.
No pause, like a Riverside onset. No break.
So Indianapolis, Indiana, obviously, hence the Fastlane car theme. We had an attendance
that's why it was all about fast cars.
That's right, fast cars.
Yeah.
We had attendance of 14,529 people, which is a sellout show.
Yeah, record-setting Fastlane, record-setting attendance. More people in attendance than when WrestleMania 7 was in Indianapolis.
It's a little fact for you. It's the first PLE or pay-per-view to be held from that arena or in Indianapolis in general since Clash of Champions 2016. So they've been deprived of a pay-per-view for quite some time.
Damn.
Yeah. So
there you go. That's a little extra intro factoid.
A little spice for you there.
little bit of spice. Yeah,
a little bit of garnish. Spice. You know what? Actually. Would you guys call
like a good parsley?
Cilantro? Is that a thing?
Cilantro. Oh yeah, my wife puts cilantro.
Yeah, so we don't call that over here. Call it that.
You don't call it that?
No, I'm pretty sure. I might need to find out now. God, I really went off tangent here. Oh, yeah, coriander.
Coriander?
Yeah,
that's a whole different thing.
That's not. Cilantro is the plant of which it comes. Sorry, cilantro comes from the plant called coriander.
Cilantro comes from the plant coriander. I will have to get this verified with my wife, who knows this. I need a second opinion. I'm not just going to take the word of some British bloke. Face value. I don't know where I was going with that.
Bloke. I guess your version of bloke is.
I don't know what our version of bloke is. Yeah,
guy.
Bloke is. Yeah. It's just a slight like rib, right? Like it's not. Hold on a second.
We use bloke. We use bloke seriously.
You use bloke as a serious insult?
No, it's not an insult.
Like,
bloke is it's just a thing over here. We just say bloke.
Oh, it's just like my bloke.
No, we don't. Oh God, you could have sounded more American if you tried.
My bloke.
This was American.
Like, man.
So we don't say. We say bloke when we're referencing someone else. So, for example, I'll be hanging out with you and be like, look at that bloke over there.
Oh, okay. So
who is that? Oh, I don't know. Some bloke just came up to me. That kind of thing. You do not see your friend and go, "What's up, my bloke?" It just doesn't.
What's up, bloke? It's not a thing.
Nah, not a thing. You can sure as hell come over here and make. You know what? Actually, come over here and do that. And I want to see what happens.
Why don't we try? Why don't we make it a thing? Let's make yo bloke a thing in England.
What's up, my bloke?
My bloke.
A bloke.
My bloke. What's happening, bloke?
Now, I've said bloke so many times, it doesn't sound...
That sounds weird, right?
Weird.
I mean, it never sounded like a real word in America. Anyway.
Fastlane. Before we get into the actual show, we had the pre-show, and we had Jade Cargill turn up again from AEW.
Yes. And if you want to hear...
full attire, which I thought was weird, coming out of a car.
And I have a note here on the pre-show that says, Jade Cargill arrives, make sure to plug the Patreon, where our unedited version of last episode, we talk about what we think Jade Cargill is going to do in her arrival to WWE.
Also,
don't talk about it now. Make them pay for it.
Also, let's make note that she is not being put on NXT. She is being put straight on the main roster.
Do we know that for sure?
I'm going to say pretty sure, yeah.
I don't know that we...
Because I think they made reference to the fact that that she listed a bunch of females on the roster that she wants to face, and they were all main roster people.
But that could be a red herring.
That could be a red herring, but the fact that she was out there shaking hands with Triple H and not Shawn Michaels tells me everything I need to know, I think.
Well, maybe.
I think she's on the main roster. Maybe she will. Maybe she will.
Maybe she won't. But that's not what. That's if you want to know what we really think, go back to our Patreon.
Yeah, that's right.
and listen to the unedited cut of what episode was that? Episode 7?
That was episode 8.
Episode 8. Yes, that's right. Episode 8, where we broke into the top 1% of podcasts.
No, I think after 5 we did that.
After 5?
Yeah.
Oh. I thought it was I thought it was right after last one. They just happened so fast. It was like, yes, we made it. We passed the mark where every other podcast stops, and then we took a break.
And I kind of looked into that myself, and I just found a bunch of a few podcasts on Spotify, and I was like, shit, that's kind of true. I found a lot of podcasts that have just stopped at 5 podcasts. So
yeah, I mean that it makes sense. There's in any of these things there is definitely immediate filters, and one of them is time.
Yeah.
I mean, one of them is consistency. Like I said, we had to take a week off. We did the No Mercy as a quick recap instead of a live thing because of technical difficulties and whatever. But
I think we've made it past 2 good thresholds. We made it past 5 episodes, and we've had a week off and gotten back on the horse.
And you actually gotten back. It wasn't the week. Usually, a week off means it's over.
It just kills it. Yeah.
Yeah. No.
So one thing I liked the fact that there were 2 really I don't know what they are. Don't ask me to know. But 2 really fast cars at the entranceway. It was a nice touch.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that kind of stuff either. I'm guessing they're Indianapolis 500 cars.
Maybe. Who knows? They look like Formula 1
they have
cars
certain,
to me.
Yeah, they have certain kind of. They have cars and they're called things. If anybody that knows what those race cars are called, tell us that in the comments.
Yeah.
Anywhere on our social media.
I'd love to know. I don't know what I would do with the information.
We're not gonna bother looking them up because we're just gonna talking about wrestling. We're not talking. This isn't Punk's talk about race cars. It's Punk's talk about wrestling. But I did love them. It was a nice touch. I loved LA Knights. I loved LA Knights. We don't see it until a little bit later.
Oh, he has a little
Slim
kind of
Jim car.
thing. Yes.
That he squealed. Perfect, beautiful. It made me want to get the Slim Jims.
Snap
and
into
I
a
did.
Slim Jim.
I bought one of the. I've gone back to buying the giant, the Savage Slim Jims.
Okay, so do me a favor. When I come over in March, April, whenever the fuck that is.
Yeah.
Can you buy me a Slim Jim and keep it? And I've never had a Slim Jim. We don't have Slim
Jim. You want me to buy it now and keep it?
No, don't buy it now.
Over in April?
Just remember nearer the time.
Okay. I mean, that's fine. We can. They will last forever. But I mean, they're also easily accessible everywhere.
Yeah, I figured it's America, so we don't have Slim Jims over here. Although,
you don't have them
what
at
is
all.
a Slim Jim?
Slim Jim. Oh, hold on. Let me go grab the Savage Slim Jim that I have under my desk. Oh shit! I accidentally bought a mild one. Motherfucker! I bought the wrong kind.
So what is it? Is it dried meat? Is it like jerky?
It is. Yes, it's essentially a
stick of jerky.
Overly processed kind of meat product. Here. So it is labeled as a smoked snack stick.
Okay.
Yes. The ingredients of Slim Jims are beef, pork, mechanically separated chicken, water, textured soy flour.
Only in
syrup,
America would you get on the ingredients mechanically separated chicken.
Contains less than 2% of dextrose natural flavors, paprika, and extractives of paprika.
Now I know what it is because in the UK we have something called pepperami. And that is a Slim Jim, it's just a different brand.
Yeah, not as mechanically separated chicken as Slim Jim. It is truly the mechanically separated chicken that sets it apart.
Really sets it apart from everything else, yeah.
From the other things.
Yeah.
But they're fantastic. They taste fantastic.
Okay.
They taste like. I mean, having Randy Macho Man Savage as their spokesperson originally was the greatest idea.
That kind of set them up for life. They never left them, did it?
Yeah, and they never left. They can always use it. And I mean, you've watched a Randy Savage promo. Just imagine a beef, a meat producty thing with the flavor of a Randy Savage, 1988 promo.
Okay.
And it's basically, it is exactly that. It's a Randy Savage promo in your mouth.
For that.
Slim Jims. Also, we are also promoting. We not this episode.
It's like a Randy Savage promo in your mouth. Okay, I like that. I don't know.
Wrestling.
Put it on something. A T-shirt. Yeah. I don't know. A coaster maybe.
We'll put it on. Yeah, we'll put it on the first Punks Talk Wrestling merch.
So first match.
So the first,
was
holy moly.
Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso versus Finn Balor and Damian Priest for the WWE Undisputed Tag Team Champions. Why in the fuck are they going to split those things or put them together? Just do something.
Yeah, holy moly. This was not expected. I certainly wasn't expecting 20 minutes.
I messaged you. I watched this yesterday and I messaged you straight away and I was like, that was a main event. That could have main evented the pay-per-view. That match was so... first thing was just wonderful. My notes was wonderful. Yeah.
The amount of mayhem that they put in the match with all the Judgment Day shenanigans.
Yeah, but that's the stuff. That's the kind of stuff that made it feel like it was ending the pay-per-view. Just this kind of massive crescendo
but it was so smooth.
It was so great.
The smoothness of how... The smoothness of the chaos that they have with that has been, and they certainly have been taking a cue from the old Bloodline playbooks.
Oh, for sure.
And watching, and I'm sure having Jimmy and having Jey Uso involved in this, he helped guide some of that.
Yeah,
for sure, because having all of those people always in the right spot.
Yeah.
For every single bit. The McDonough miss hitting Priest in the knee with the briefcase was such a beautiful way to
such a good touch, and it was done so well. Those smooth. It didn't feel janky or weird. It felt like an actual mistake.
Yeah, but exactly.
Yeah.
It because all of his mistakes. That it's I love what they're doing with JD McDonough in his like ratty foil, like he's sort of like he's just like the gopher underling guy, like trying to get in the club.
He's trying to. It's
always fucking up, but it gives them a foil.
Yeah.
So that it's not them actually making the mistakes. It's not the judge. The problem that they had when it was the miscommunication with Balor and Priest early on. You couldn't keep that going because then it's just, are they just constantly fighting?
Yeah, I feel like it will come back on Finn though, because effectively he's the one kind of related to JD and being the one that trained him and everything. And I feel like Finn's the only guy that's got any kind of respect for JD at all.
Yes, well, that's part of how they kind of keep that wedge in there. It's like he's a thorn. They were just getting past their problems,
and then JD comes along,
and then JD comes along, and he's mucking it, and he's mucking things up.
Yeah,
that's gonna keep that rift is still there. I mean, we will see it on the out later on in the event and backstage.
Yeah,
like that little thorn is still now. There's the JD thorn, and there's still the Money in the Bank briefcase thorn, which
exactly.
But man, I did not see them. I did not see those two. I didn't see Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso winning this.
No, I didn't.
I thought it was just going to be a match. I thought it was just going to be a match to showcase everybody and just be, look at all the stuff. But
yeah, I didn't expect them to win, but boy, I'm glad they did, because they were really drunk in the press conference.
Wow, he was really something. I mean, I don't know what the laws are in Indianapolis, Indiana, on other things, but he was having a good time.
Yeah, it was
later on in the night.
So
Jey Uso
much
was
fun.
Celebrating. And more power to it. I mean, it was funny. I don't know if people are going to criticize it or whatever, but
for the most part, from what I've seen online, everyone absolutely loved it. And you know what? If anything, it showed you a sign of the times in the WWE where
because it's also not so even though this
things aren't so. It seems like now with Triple H running the show, things are a lot less strict backstage, and they were clearly a little inebriated going into that press conference.
Yeah, but he was but he didn't. It wasn't bad.
Well, I think both.
It was hilarious.
I think both Cody and him were. I think they both were.
Oh yeah, but certainly Jay was more tipsy. Jay was slurring his speech,
but
and like
Triple
not
H
even
got
able
on
to
the
get
mic
out
afterwards, and he was laughing about it, like
of
clearly
course.
entertained by it. So
that's what it was. It was absolutely entertaining.
Yeah, and it's caused a lot of stir in a good way on online on social media, because a lot of people have been cutting clips from it, and it's just funny. It's just funny.
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. They copped. I mean, obviously they copped to it right away too.
Yeah.
They're just like, we've been celebrating all night. I loved it. The 6-man tag match. After that, I figure we'll just keep rolling.
Yeah. I just
tag
a
match.
Quick note. I really like that Dawkins, the Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits kind of had like a gold dust, black and gold look going on. So just kind of dug it.
That was kind of cool. Well, it was nice to see them. It definitely was nice to see
matching
them all
attire.
in matching attire.
Yeah,
for sure.
I always like that.
My first question was, who was the sponsor of this premium live event?
I've got no idea. Could you tell me? Couldn't quite see it.
It was hard to. Now what's weird about this is, I don't know if you have pizza. I don't know if Pizza Hut is a franchise in England as well.
Massively. Yeah.
It is. Oh, it is. Okay. Because now, at least in my part, in Pennsylvania, it's been a steadily dying franchise. Like there used to be Pizza Huts where you would go dine in restaurant. Like they made they're in the early 80s.
They still are here. They still are here. Most of our Pizza Huts are still eat-in restaurants.
Really?
Yeah,
See,
and
ours,
you can order pizza, and it comes from the restaurants, basically.
See, we used to have, it was that was the big thing. Like they were the sit-down, go-out-to-eat pizza place.
Right. Yeah.
Like they treated pizza like fine family dining.
Yeah.
Which is great. But they did awesome stuff. They had the Book It programs or Read It, whatever it was. Like you would get a free pizza after reading so many books.
Yeah.
For kids, that was great. That was great stuff. And then they just started, the other chain pizzas were opening up, and pizza became the convenient of pick up to take home or deliver. Like pizza's the stay at home night kind of thing. And the Pizza Huts really, really died out here. All of the Pizza Huts that were dine-in Pizza Huts are closed, and now the few that are in our area are just, you basically they deliver or you pick up. So it was weird it was weird for me to see that much Pizza Hut promotion, because I've never seen that much Pizza Hut promotion in years.
It was everywhere. It was
everything.
When you had the hard cam shots, and you literally just, even on the banners up on the balcony, all said Pizza Hut.
The entire balconies.
There was I couldn't see what the name of the pay-per-view was anymore.
There was at one point later on in the night, they were oh yeah, during the main event.
Yeah.
During the main event, when Nakamura and Rollins were fighting in the back, there was a dude carrying a Pizza Hut box through the shot, literally, just walking right by, and he had it upside down. Yeah, I'll get to it. He had the box upside down. Go back and watch that guy.
That's good.
It was fucking hilarious. But anyway.
But whatever. I'm not mad at people get mad about the whole branding thing, and I'm like, whatever.
Not at all.
It's just it's signs of the time, and WWE has become a conglomerate in that way that it's just gonna happen.
How many ads are on NFL and Major League
Baseball?
Baseball? Every other sporting events.
And we're lucky enough not to get as much as they do in wrestling.
No, we even with Fuck Peacock, you get less advertisement than on any football match.
Unless you just
or
have
any
the
baseball
network
game.
still, then you don't have adverts whatsoever.
Yeah, I know. I keep talking about this, and I just don't do it. And really fuck me for not doing it. I'm the perfect. See, I still have that like perfect WWE smart mark like bit to me where like I'm mad about something, but I still won't change it.
Right.
Like the people that complain about WWE but still watch it.
This is bullshit. I'm going to stop watching.
This is bullshit. I'm going to keep watching it so I can complain about how much bullshit it is. I'm going to still keep saying fuck Peacock because it's still.
I mean, you
bad.
can still keep saying it even if you have the WWE network.
Even once I change,
yeah, you can still keep saying fuck Peacock.
And I probably will.
Yeah.
We do. We certainly don't. Of all the things that this podcast sponsors, we certainly don't sponsor Peacock.
It'd be really funny if one day the WWE hear about our podcast and like, man, we'd really love you guys to do a podcast for us. And we're like, cool, we just don't go back and listen to any of our episodes.
Oh no, but see, this is where we also say if at any point in the future we want to change our minds about anything, we can. We just will.
It's that easy.
It certainly is for any superstar to turn heel or face. They just decide, screw it, I'm good guy now, or fuck you guys.
This half of the roster's my friends now. The other half,
my bad. Listen,
I will say one thing actually. Getting back to wrestling because you kind of made me think
you mean the thing that this podcast is actually about?
Yeah, I have noticed since Triple H took over, when people turn face or heel, there is more of a how to put it. For example, when Jey Uso came to Raw, there were people who are now face. They weren't just suddenly friends with him. You had to win people over. You had to win Owens. You had to, Drew and Riddle were kind of looking at him like we can't trust you, even though they were also faces. It wasn't like, oh, you're a good guy now, so now we like you. And I like that they do that more now, and it's much better storytelling because it's like if you're going to turn into a good guy, then you need to earn trust. If you're going to turn into a bad guy, then most bad guys are like, oh, you're a dick, so I like you because you're a dick.
Yeah, and I'll say Drew McIntyre I'm so happy that they're putting him in that role. Because it gives
he's kind of an in-between guy right now. I kind of like
it gives him a place to be unique to himself. And some of these other guys, I mean, they can kind of be in that mode, in that kind of stable with him if they want to be like the faces. The fuck Jey Uso faces. I almost said the Jey Uso fuck faces.
Oh.
Which are giving new stable Jey Uso fuck faces. But the faces who say fuck Jey Uso.
Yeah.
Because there's enough of them. Like it's an interesting place, like you said, an interesting place that they can be.
Yeah.
Now also, Drew McIntyre also has been kind of a dick to a lot of people.
He has.
But that's fine. Let Drew McIntyre be kind of a dick because he's better that way. He's better as he's kind of let him be a little crunchy.
As the kids say these days. Let him cook. That's a thing. Apparently.
That's a thing. That's a term. That's a thing that kids say.
I'm still slightly
cook.
down with the kids. So
what is it? Meaning let him do his thing.
Let them do his thing. Yeah. Let him
do his thing. Let him cook. All right. Learning as someone who is very much out of whatever anyone is saying.
If anything, I've heard Cody wrote note. I've heard Corey Graves say it a few times, and maybe some other commentator. I've heard Pat McAfee say it.
But you know what? I love that. Cool. And we didn't talk about that before the thing started, but the Pat McAfee intro.
Oh, the intro. He was in the intro. Yeah, you're right.
He was in the intro, and I missed him on commentary. But then he comes back later anyway, and we hear him in the ring.
Yeah.
But the intro was good. It was a really well done.
As always, there's never a bad one these days. It's just they're all damn good.
The match. The six-man tag match though. So I had to abruptly back on track. The match was a good match. The match was. I didn't really feel any much connection
It was
between
okay,
why they were fighting.
but it was okay, but we all know what it's going to be remembered for.
Yeah, it was for the Carlito pop.
Hell fucking yeah, it was.
Yeah, but that's and I love that. I love seeing him come back, and yeah, he's in great shape. He's still in great shape. But what does that mean? Like, I really don't know. I didn't get anything from that match. Not criticizing the match, but I
think so. First of all, he came out with new music and everything, so I think it looks like he's gonna be. It's by what I've heard, he has signed a full-time contract. So
has he?
Yes.
No, I didn't know that. I didn't know that at all.
So he is now going to be
good because
a full-time member of the SmackDown roster, and that obviously means he's going to be part of the LWO, which is cool. Second of all, he is in the best shape of his fucking life. I am.
Oh yeah,
what
he's
the
fucking
hell? He's
jacked.
huge. When he was standing next to the rest of the LWO after the match, I was like, you are gigantic. Like, what the fuck? Where did that come from?
But not only just did he bulk up, like, I don't know how, but maybe he's wearing lifts in his shoes.
He just looks so big.
But he looks legitimately taller, like physically taller, where his head stands from the level of the floor.
Yeah.
Is higher than it used to be. And I don't know how that's possible. Or maybe the fact is, because he also is in there with
Zelina Vega and Rey Mysterio.
Zelina Vega and Rey Mysterio. Yeah. Yes. Even Santos Escobar is on the shorter side, so that did help make him look enormous comparatively.
Exactly. Yeah. But he looked
big.
Shape.
He looked big.
Shape.
He stood his ground against Bobby Lashley, and that's cool. They've got some big muscle in the LWO. Obviously, he's a perfect fit with those guys.
Oh, for sure. And as you say, that's a pretty good shout, actually. They didn't really have anyone that was, like, on the bigger side of things, and now they do.
Yeah,
so.
I'm worried for where where this leaves the other two guys. I can't think of their name at the moment.
I still think they're part...
Joaquin Wilde and Cruz Wild.
Yeah.
Cruz del Toro.
I think they're still part of the tag team division. They can still separate off into that. They'll still be part of the LWO.
I'm okay with the LWO being like a big ass faction.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, right now there's 6 members.
That's fine. That would be 6.
Yeah. And that's something I think the WWE has lacked for so many years is factions of like that are more than 3 people.
Yeah, that are more than just the 3. Yeah, we had the triple factions for a while.
Yeah,
I do like this.
Time.
I mean and with Carlito in the LWO, that gives them the same number that the Bloodline had with Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
Because if you're also including Paul Heyman as well.
Yeah, for sure, and I mean it's near enough the same as Judgment Day as well, if you count JD. So
right, so we're getting these larger factions, which I'm all for
it. Yeah,
I'm just really concerned with the Street Profits and Bobby Lashley. I still am. Like I
don't know what's going on there. I think the Street Profits worked much better as faces.
Yeah, I just don't buy it. Like I just don't buy it.
I don't know, man. If anything, at this point with the Street Profits, I think that they were still really over and people really liked them as faces. But at this point, I think they've run their course, and it would be perfect time for them to just separate and go be on 2 separate shows. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Maybe, but I don't see that yet. I don't know.
Well, actually, one thing that did cross my mind while I was watching the match, I'd like to see is maybe they continue for a bit, and Montez Ford kind of isn't vibing with it, and he kind of leaves their faction, kind of leaving Angelo Dawkins more as like an apprentice to Bobby Lashley, and the two of them are together. And they're not really a faction anymore, but more of just like a duo, not so much a tag team. But I just feel like Montez Ford doesn't fit that mold. I think there's much more potential in him to be stuck in a faction like that. He's got a lot of charisma.
Yeah, I just and I say it with not with criticism, with just the I don't know where it's going. I'm not vibing with what it is. I'm holding out on it because I always give anyone credit to see any angle through, any story through.
Yeah.
Like I want to see a conclusion to this. I'm getting nothing from Lashley and the Street Profits together. It just doesn't. I just don't get it.
No, me neither.
Yeah. So, but all in all, great match. Like the match itself was
match was
solid.
Good. It was good.
Yeah,
solid.
Match
solid
was good.
Match.
Was good. Talk about another good match. The next match, triple threat match for the WWE Women's Championship. 17.5 minutes.
You know what is good about this match? It started
Everything.
with a mist, like a straightaway mist to Charlotte Flair.
Yeah, that was the first note I had too. Eliminating Charlotte early with the mist.
Yeah,
because that's it's always the biggest thing about the triple threat match is how you're gonna start it. And it's easy when it's two faces against the heel. It's easy. The two faces team up on the heel to start with.
Yeah.
And then it's the face versus face for a minute.
Yeah.
But we kind of got that in a way. We kind of got that with Io and Asuka in the beginning, because everybody loves that. Well, the weird thing is I'm not really sure who's face and who's heel in this match at all.
Asuka, I say, I don't even know what kind of. Everyone's a bit of their own thing.
Everybody's a bit nebulous in here, because
I just feel like that's becoming more and more of a thing in the WWE at the moment. I think it's almost like, hey, as a fan and as a person, you get to just make up your mind of whether you like this person or not. You if you vibe well with like their choices, then you can essentially be their friend, kind of like real life. You choose whether or not this person is morally good or bad to you.
Right. That's really where we come down to it. Is that you see them based on the moveset dictates kind of their moralities, and Io having help from Damage Control is still considered heelish.
For sure, but I still think that people love Io, for some reason, and she panders to the crowd in a positive way as well.
Yeah.
Plus,
there's many reasons to love her.
She also doesn't want the help from Damage Control either. She's made that evident.
Yeah.
So she's on her way out of Damage Control for sure.
Well, I think that's another. Yeah, Damage Control I think has some shelf life too. It's really weird though. I don't. There's a lot of faction things going on and a lot of potential splittings going on.
Yeah.
So I hope they're careful with how they work that as well. But I've loved everything that they've done with Damage Control. I can't wait. I guess Dakota Kai is still not cleared to wrestle, so I'm happy. I hope she gets back involved. I hope they don't break them up before she gets back. To compete.
I'd love to see like a triple threat between the three of them.
Well, they talked about that they already in the press conference afterwards.
Yeah,
that was brought up, and so we might see that. Like, that might be we might get something that's just a nice send off of, hey, let's have this match and then we're done. Yeah. You don't have to break up. This is the other thing I think with the amount of factions and the amount of teams and the amount of ideas we've talked about this from time to time too. The way they do things is important, and you don't always have to break a team up negatively. It doesn't have to be because someone turned on the other person.
No.
It doesn't have to be.
Well, look at Randy Orton and Riddle.
Well, they broke up because of an injury.
Oh, well, you're right. Yeah, sorry. Good point.
Technically.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I mean, it doesn't have to end
and
on
then he got fired.
Yeah,
so.
there's that too. Yeah. Oops. But yeah, it doesn't always have to end on a bad note. They can just for example, like Santos Escobar and Rey Mysterio had a match for the US title recently, and it didn't affect
themselves in LWO.
No, they just had a match because they are still competitors. They're competing.
Because people,
they're not fighting. They're competing.
People are realizing, the levels at which we can do these things. There's so many more. There's so many options of how to tell these stories.
Yeah.
That I'm really looking, and this is what I was getting at. What I was going to get to came up in my notes at the later match, but it's apparent here. We've already mentioned it. There's 5 matches on this PLA.
Yeah.
That's probably a record number of few matches for a PLA.
Oh, for sure.
Because there was no pre-show. There wasn't even a pre-show match.
No.
There was just, they gave Jade Cargill's appearance, basically the main event of the pre-show. The main point of the pre-show was to showcase Jade Cargill coming over to WWE. That's huge, and giving everybody time for all these matches. 17 and a half minutes for a triple threat is a lot of time too.
Yeah.
And everybody got to shine in this match.
Yeah, I love the way it ended with they had the figure 8, but then the moonsault. I
love a dusty finish. I love a dusty finish in a match that has so many options for dusty finishes. Because Asuka tapped. We saw it there. Asuka tapped. If the ref wasn't distracted by Bayley, Charlotte would have won. And now that gives Charlotte more fire to constantly be in the title picture.
Yeah.
But yeah, once again, great match, great stories all throughout. Wonderful woven. I'm happy, interested to see Asuka's fighting in a match. Asuka's facing I forget who.
Is it Roxanne Perez?
NXT. Roxanne Perez in NXT tonight.
Yeah.
That's going to be great. I think that's going to be a great, since she didn't technically lose. Technically, even though she tapped out, I think this is great. I think it's great for her to go down to NXT tonight too.
Yeah, and plus she's from NXT. And by the way, if you look at this for a second, I was just looking at the card here. Oh shoot!
Okay,
hold on, I lost the card.
Card for NXT tonight?
No, for Fastlane. Let me just look at one thing. Sorry, I just lost it, but I'm getting back. So, if we're looking at we've got 1, 2, we got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 people on this PLE were from NXT, which is a majority of the people that are on this pay-per-view.
Oh. Yeah.
Which is it's showing the more and more time moves on, we're really the more of the roster is being filled up by people that came through that ranking, through
absolutely.
NXT. So it's kind of wild to think about.
And Triple H mentioned that in the press conference later too, was that was one of the biggest problems, one of the biggest struggles with NXT with the pandemic was the stopping of the feeding of the NXT machine.
Yeah.
And you can see it has fed the main roster now. And when that stopped, there is this gap. There is this bit of a weird, and we're seeing it. This is the supply chain, the issues with supply chains that still affected the world years after the pandemic was over and everything was opened up. That you just don't recognize.
Yeah.
We're seeing some of this. So I briefly, when I looked at notes and I saw people criticizing Fastlane as this is WWE, this is going to be the worst premium live event of 2023. This is their criticisms are because they're taking something and they're using that as their basis of what makes this good. Everything about every one of these matches was actually great for a number of reasons.
Yeah.
I saw anybody that criticizes this pay-per-view or this premium live event as subpar.
Well, here's a little fact here. I read this the other day, picture. And So the last Fastlane event was in 2021, so a few years ago. That's the last time that there was a Payback event.
That's which is the one we reviewed.
Yeah, that's right. So that was the last one they had, and the viewership is up 71% from the previous edition of Fastlane.
Oh shit!
Which is a lot of people if you think about it. Like, I know that was during the pandemic and everything like that, but it's still a big jump, you know?
Yeah, but here's the other thing. That previous Fastlane in 2021 was the lead-in to WrestleMania.
Yeah.
This one was the lead out.
Exactly.
This was after...
It's not even after SummerSlam. The last one was Fastlane. It's like, it's just
Fastlane
in the middle of
Payback,
nowhere.
Right, Payback, yeah. Like, it was just... Yeah, it wasn't even right after SummerSlam.
No, it's just the
second one.
It's just a PLE just in the gear, just sitting there, and it was up 71%. And even the gate for the ticket sales were up 31% from like 2016 Fastlane as well. So this was a success in every way. And it's a showcase. It is a showcase of a lot of the top talent. Like, that's why we didn't have filler matches, or there was certainly no filler matches, and like plus we got some great things here. We got like with the tag team titles changing hands, a Carlito returning, and
there's also I've heard people complain about a lot of segments and things, but those segments are taking place of the matches. Like, the next match, the match before the pay-per-view has traditionally been the bathroom break match. It's always been criticized as the match that's just filling time before the main event, so people can get their last drink and go to the bathroom.
Yeah, try and do that in John Cena and LA Knight versus Solo
versus
and
the
Jimmy.
Bloodline. Try to do that for 17 and a half minutes.
Yep.
Of showcasing everybody. This was another great tag team match for no other reason than to continue the showcase, to continue to show
and especially for I think but everyone but Cena, basically. Cena doesn't need the show the spotlight.
Yeah.
But one thing I did notice in this match, which really did surprise me, and I liked it because it was the other way around than what you would expect. But basically, with these kind of matches, you'd expect for LA Knight to be getting the beat down eventually, just to make the hot tag to Cena and Cena save the day. But it was actually the opposite way around. Cena was getting beat down for ages, and then he made the hot tag to LA Knight, and that's going to do so much more for LA Knight than it will for Cena. Yeah,
John Cena definitely put everybody else over himself.
Big time.
By that, by allowing everyone else, he was there for star power. He wasn't there to show off. He was there to put.
That's such a good match to put him in. It's propelling every single other person in that match has been propelled. It was definitely the biggest win of LA Knight's career, and are we all happy now? Are we happy now? Okay, everyone. LA Knight's getting pushed.
Some people won't be happy. Some people will never be happy. Some people will never be happy, and that's okay. We don't need to worry about them. We worry about the people that are happy.
Yeah.
No, it's great. Yeah, like you said, it is a huge win for LA Knight. Just another building up of his resume.
That's right.
This is, this is how you do it. This is how you do it with a guy like him.
Yeah.
Everybody is guiding him and pushing him forwards. They said again. They talked about it in the press conference, and I love these press conferences. I've been such a fan that they started doing
really
these.
Great, yeah.
They treat them semi kayfabe.
That's what I was actually talking to a guy at work today. He actually watches boxing mainly.
Yeah.
And I was actually telling him about the Jay and Cody segment, the interview on the presser. And I was like, but I was trying to explain to him that. I was like, it's weird. They're not really in character, but they kind of are.
They kind of are. Yeah. They allow themselves to
loosen up a little bit.
Yeah, it is. It is definitely it is the peek behind the curtain.
Yeah.
It's not, but it's not giving away the entire,
because they get questions literally like words like storyline are mentioned by the press.
Yes, absolutely.
So it gives you that peek of like, okay, we know this isn't real, and the wrestlers and the like Paul Heyman or Triple H will answer those questions. They won't just ignore them as if like, what do you mean storyline? This is real, or whatever,
Yeah, they're allowing. They're not trying to pretend like it's not scripted.
And that does a lot of favors for professional wrestling to people that don't watch it, because it's like it's not wrestling pretending anymore. It's just like. This is wrestling now being like, we know that it's none of this story, like the stories aren't real, but we're here to give you a good story, and that's what we're trying to do, Yes,
and that's always, and that's exactly that is what really sets it apart. That's always what set them apart.
Yeah.
They are always, and they've been holding to this. They've been saying it for years. The story, the story. They want to give you the best entertainment.
Yeah.
When a match gets cut, it's because it was, what are the most compelling stories? These are the ones we choose to show.
Yeah.
And all of these stories are the most compelling in a way. It's the storyline between John Cena teaming with LA Knight against Jimmy and Solo. There's no real story there. The story is LA Knight getting showcased.
Yeah.
And Solo Sikoa as well, and Jimmy it's like the spotlight's on LA Knight, with secondary spotlight on Solo Sikoa, tertiary spotlight on Jimmy. John Cena's holding the spotlight.
But it does wonders for Jimmy and Solo to lose, knowing now that Roman's coming back this week, because
it works.
It works perfect.
They're doing the exact. And what do I love? And what do I love the most that WWE does? When they do something, and you love it, and then they turn around and they do it again. And they're doing exactly what Rhea Ripley did to Dom after he lost. This is going to be, Roman Reigns is coming back to chastise the people that can't get shit accomplished without him holding their hand. So Rhea's definitely stepping into the head of the table role in the Judgment Day, like we were saying.
Well, Jey Uso said that to Rhea on Raw last week. He was like, said that she's got like the Raw's got its own bloodline, but Rhea has bigger balls than Roman Reigns.
Yeah, well, that and the little things like Paul Heyman talking to Rhea Ripley.
Yeah.
With like the whole authorized thing.
Well, we had the Bloodline and the Judgment Day kind of like shoulder to shoulder on the end of SmackDown last week.
On SmackDown, SmackDown before Fastlane, and that was also giving the nod of like, oh yeah, Paul Heyman is acknowledging Rhea Ripley as the communicator. Like, I'm dealing with Rhea Ripley, and Rhea Ripley is telling the.
But we're getting a lot of these standoffs lately between those two factions and the general faces on these two shows, and you got to know that War Games is coming up very soon. So.
Oh, holy shit! If we somehow get a Bloodline versus Judgment Day,
well, something
Games,
like that, or an amalgamation of the Judgment Day and Bloodline working together against.
That could be,
there's so many ways you can take this.
That would be a big, if they did some giant combo.
Or
action.
You go back to the original version of the War Games when you had 3 teams instead of 2.
There were 3 teams. Yeah, you could do that.
Yeah,
you could have. You
have Judgment Day, Bloodline, and this kind of amalgamation of faces.
Yeah, or I mean. There could be. I mean, the LWO could be involved.
Yeah,
we could get multiple War Game matches.
Yeah,
too. Well, we would have multiple.
We'd have women's.
Usually
and
have a
men's,
women's and men's, but with Rhea Ripley, who knows? She might be involved.
Right. There's a lot of ways you can go, but we're getting ahead of ourselves here.
We're getting so far ahead of ourselves.
PLE before that too. So
yeah, holy shit. Yeah. The next because we got.
Jewel.
Yeah, we got a promo for that before
before the main event.
Before the main event.
Yeah.
So the next PLE is going to be Crown Jewel. We're obviously going to cover that. I looked back on it. We don't need to pick now. We can pick later.
Yeah.
But there's only 4 Crown Jewels. This will be the 5th one, so we get to roll a D4 on this one.
Nice and easy. Okay, cool.
So it'll be a new dice roll. But we'll pick that next. We'll probably pick that next week.
Yeah, we got plenty of time for that. That's fine.
Yeah.
Straight to the main event. Whoa, Jesus Christ! What a main event this was. This was just a treat. It was just good stuff. It was a brawl. It was a fight. There was nothing to not like. I thought Nakamura had this so many times.
Yeah, I was convinced going into this that Nakamura was going to take
Honestly,
it away.
same.
They worked up everything about his back.
Yeah.
They've been playing that up so much that you just assume that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And every time more things happened, I'm like, I cannot believe that this hasn't ended yet. 28 and a half minutes.
And that surprises me to see that time, because I honestly thought this was definitely like 10 minutes shorter. It felt really well paced, and I never got bored, and I was just like, they were always doing stuff.
Yeah, it was extremely well timed.
Yeah,
there was
just so much like pulling up the mat on the outside of the ring, only to go back to it like 15 minutes later.
They said, I said that, and I put that in my notes. None of the weapons or anything were overly gratuitous.
Yeah.
It was smart, but then all of a sudden Nakamura brings out nunchucks. Because it's Nakamura, and apparently he is a martial arts expert with nunchucks as well.
Well, he certainly knew how to use them. That was for sure.
He certainly did.
Yeah.
But it was slow for a match that needs to take time. Like, you have to wear them down over time. I'm glad that it wasn't something that they got into, or like he badly injured him right off the bat, and it's like, a 7-minute last man standing match. Where it was just this the amount of times that Seth came back.
I loved it.
Some of the scary shit that they did.
Yeah.
The Nakamura knees off the
through the table.
Through the table. Like, that camera angle looked like Nakamura should have died.
Yeah.
Himself.
But when Seth went through the announcers table, like, it was a great shot because you could see Michael Cole, like his full body.
Oh yeah,
he was jumping up and down, like shouting at Rollins to just stay down. Like, why are you getting up? Just shouting at him.
It was really. They did a great. Michael Cole's shout out to Michael Cole's announcing.
The guy's just getting better and better, man. It's like
he is. Yeah, he really is. Like, he's probably. I would say, I'm gonna say this now. I would put Michael Cole. Michael Cole is gonna go on the Mount Rushmore of commentary.
Yes, 100%.
He has to,
man. Of course he
will.
He
has to be.
Pat McAfee calls him the greatest of all time, and you know what? I wouldn't even say anything to you if you thought he was the greatest of all time.
Yeah,
because look how his longevity.
It's a relative.
He's just so good at his damn job, man. He's been there for so long, and he's just a professional. He knows what he's doing. He's taught anyone you can see commentating on TV right now, you can guarantee that Michael Cole's taught them how to do that job.
Yeah.
So,
and he's come back. It's nice to see that he's come back around, because I know he had his. We all do it. We all have our lulls, and he's been open about the fact that Pat McAfee was.
Reinvigorated it for him,
reinvigorated him, watching someone come in who was such a fan, and get to like call this thing and be involved in multiple facets, but like his commentary and his excitability, just reinvigorated.
Yeah, you see it all the time now. Like when you watch an episode of Raw, you can see Cole in the background standing up.
Oh, he is so into it.
He loves it.
Bouncing out of his seat.
Yeah, it's good to see, man.
Because that's how you're supposed to watch.
And as a viewer, it gets you more excited, because you like see the commentator get that excited. I'm like, I'm excited too.
Absolutely,
so, it makes sense. I love it.
And the best, overall, we don't go move for move and everything, but overall, just the fact that Seth wins with the Falcon Arrow.
Yeah, that was
Something
great.
That he's never won with a Falcon Arrow.
Yeah.
This was a perfect opportunity. So we know I know Nick Tulo is definitely was shouting and probably in joyous revelry seeing that, because he was always a big proponent of the Falcon's
Arrow. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, great show. Good show. Damn good show.
Good show.
Good
Damn
show.
good. Yeah.
Good shit.
Damn good show. Overall, like, yeah, nothing there. Yeah. Absolute.
It's been a long time since a bad pay-per-view. It really has been a long time.
Yeah, I can't say if there is someone out there that criticizes this, by all means criticize it in the comments, and then let me tell you why you're wrong, because there was every match was great. What was it WrestleMania? No, it's not WrestleMania. It's Fastlane.
That's because it's not WrestleMania.
It's not WrestleMania. It's freaking Fastlane, and it was excellent. It was I don't know what else to say about that. So we won't say anything else about it.
No, I think that'd be it. Yeah.
Yeah. We knew we were gonna keep it short and sweet with these, and there was only 5 matches to keep it short and sweet with.
That's right.
But it is great to be back doing this. I know, with even just 1 week off already feels too long for me.
Yeah, it was. I actually felt the itch last week, and
yeah, it was odd. So and we didn't go out of our way to really mention anything online, because there we know the people that are following us.
Although next time we do, we should announce that the podcast is returning. Just like whenever Roman Reigns takes a week off, they always announce
we should. Yes, we should. You know what? I think we'll do that. We'll do that. Tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll do a little promo thing.
We'll do a promo. We'll make a return graphic. Long-awaited return of the Punks Talk Wrestling podcast. Because I think this is what, episode 9.
This is 9. Yeah, we're almost hitting double digits.
And I mean, technically, this could have been 2 independent podcasts, because No Mercy was going to be its own podcast, and Fastlane was going to be its own podcast.
It's what they call it.
I don't know if this is. Yeah, so you technically get a twofer.
Yeah.
You just had to wait an extra week to get it.
Yeah.
But like WWE, a lot of times it's worth the wait. You just hold on. So for anyone questioning why certain things are the way they are, hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. Hold on to the match. Hold on to the storyline. Hold on to the wrestler that you want to see.
Hold on.
I don't know where I'm going with this. Hold on, just hold on to the memories. Hold on to the night. I don't know where like it always does. It falls apart. Wait, we can't fall apart though yet, because we haven't done the outro things that I have to do.
Well, do your outro things.
I have this at the bottom, and we almost forget. What is next week's pod? Because we've got to plug next week's pod. That's what we do.
Do we know what next week's pod is?
I don't know. Well, so the thing we didn't do. We didn't do the deep dive into the Viscera gimmick.
Oh yeah, that was the thing.
I don't know if we need to.
We'll reassess that. If anyone was looking forward to it, please let us know. Maybe
you know what? Here's the thing. Otherwise we might just find something random. But if anyone says, again, I will put it in the comments. If anyone just comments, yes, I do want to hear the deep dive. I want to hear you guys talk for an hour and a half about.
To quote Cody Rhodes. So
what do you want to talk about?
What do you want to talk about?
What do you want to talk about?
You want us to talk about? If you want us, we should do that one time.
How about this?
What's that?
We reverse it. We're going to talk about the many gimmick changes of Viscera, unless someone gives us any other idea that they want to hear.
Yeah. Or we give each other another idea.
Yeah. You and I could just make up another idea and be like, yo, you know what? I think we should do that.
Guess what? Because we're in charge.
Maybe that anonymous podcast critic can come back and make a terrible suggestion.
Yeah, maybe he can make a terrible suggestion.
Yeah, maybe he can say something and then be wrong again. The other thing I've got to do in the outro is plug our Instagram. Once again, you can find it. You can follow us on Instagram at Punks Talk Wrestling, where we post things about our podcast.
I'm also doing these
and other
once
things
a
about
week.
wrestling.
I'm doing a hashtag what a maneuver.
I've seen that. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want what a maneuvers in your feed, then follow Punks Talk Wrestling.
And if you got any other moves that you think are like fucking badass, then
tell us some. Tell us some moves that you love. I do love that. I love the little mini polls that you've been putting up. That's
little
great.
polls. I do a little quiz every Friday as well.
Yeah. Things for some interaction. Tell us what else you want to see. Tell us what else you want us to talk about. Like, that's really where it's going to come down to. We're going to do whatever we want until someone actually
tells us to do otherwise.
We're like the vampire, the podcast equivalent of vampires. We're just gonna roam around making noise outside until someone invites us in.
Yeah, tells us to shut the fuck up.
Yeah, or shut the fuck. Yeah, but you can't do that. That's the beauty of it, is no one can actually tell us to do that.
That's right, because we just
record these and then put them up, and then if you tell us to shut up, at that point we've already
done it, and then we're gonna do another one. We've already
done the talking. It doesn't. It's ineffective. You literally can't stop us. Unless you like fly to England, take what's the word that I'm looking for? Kidnap. I'm looking for the word kidnap. If you kidnap Chris and then make me fly to England to rescue him, I'm the dude from Taken,
like a hostage situation.
Yeah. If you put us in a hostage situation where I have to fly to England to rescue Chris, I would do it. But we'd prefer not to get that level of, just to get a podcast on the topic that you want. You can just put that in the comments and say, tell me about this thing that I want to hear you talk about. You don't have to go so far, guys. You don't have to take it to the extreme.
Man.
No.
It just fell off.
Wow, that went real wild.
Yeah.
Don't let this podcast turn into a hostage situation.
Well, there'll be really good PR for the pod, though.
It might be
No, bad news is always good press.
We're gonna you know what? We might just make that into a bit ourselves.
Yeah, maybe we'll just make that into a storyline. But if it happens, pretend that it's real.
Yeah, exactly.
But then it might actually be real, because then it might actually happen.
You won't know. Hopefully, if we do it well.
Yeah, if we do it well enough, you'll never know. Yeah.
You'll never know. Hopefully, we could have our own like podcast hunter or someone, or Anyways. Man.
Anyway.
That was. Fell off fast.
Yeah.
I think that's good. I think that might be it.
But that's obviously where we stop, because we've.
Yeah. Oh wait, we do have a Patreon.
Oh, that.
We're not yet. No, not yet.
Come back.
Come back. Remember to plug the Patreon once again. That's where we're gonna have the unedited episodes up there.
Yeah.
Now it's it.
Now we're done.